Hello, I'm going to share my evening of depression with you now, and it's to do with politics, American and British. And I have to say that I've rarely felt so depressed about the state of politics as I feel today. I'm going to be dealing with issues, surrounding black people, ethnic minority, just black people, I suppose. And it hurts me to have to speak in this way. So I'm not going to try monetizing the video, of course. And as I have asked you to do on previous videos, I ask you to click the like button, but then you might not wish to click the like button when you hear what I have to say. So, just hold fire, but try and remember to do it if you think I'm making some decent points. You see, what happened was this. I was going to make a jocular video, which wasn't actually about such a jocular subject. It was about the Central California Correctional Institute or facility, which has, in accordance with a new rule put out by somebody called Wiener, which I thought was rather amusing. It's called, Section 132 or Proposal 132 or SB. Anyway, the thing about it is that with the best of intentions, it's doing the worst of things. That is, this chap called Wiener had noted that men who identified as women or were effeminate in some way were getting bullied in prison. And so he wanted them to be able to be housed in a female prison instead. Now, of course, this was the height of stupidity. He thought he was doing something good. You see, he was trying, but what he didn't think through was that there were the criminals, after all, they are unscrupulous. And some have taken advantage of this by, and even men who were convicted of crimes involving sex, sexual assault. They say they are identifying as women. They get put into a woman's prison, and then they end up either raping or seducing the female prisoners. And there is a women's organization called Wolf, Women's Liberation something. I don't know quite, but anyway, it's W small o and then LF, Liberation Front. Women's Liberation Front, who have pointed out that there is at least one pregnancy now of a prisoner. Now, whether she was seduced or raped, she was impregnated in prison by a man, a fully functioning male prisoner who got there by saying he identified as a woman. And Wolf say there are about at least 7 that they know of possible pregnancies. Now, this strikes me as, it's not a good situation, but it's certainly something you can make fun of. And I was going to do that, and then I just happened upon this video, which I'm going to play you now, and I'm going to tie it in with a video of an MP here in the United Kingdom called Claudia Webb. But first, I'm going to play this. This is a confrontation between Dr. Fauci and a representative called Jordan. I think he's called Jordan. Just a minute, let me have a look. Yeah, Jordan. He would be Congressman Jordan, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm sure you Americans know who I'm talking about. I get Congress and Senate sort of confused. I do apologize for that. But that's not the point. The point is he's a politician. He was getting very angry with Fauci about the the lack of precision in when Americans were going to be let loose. Now, I can understand Fauci hedging his bets there, and I can also understand Representative Jordan being as angry as he is. I think I have my suspicions about Fauci, so I'm not really on his side. So I was a little more sympathetic to Jordan than maybe I should have been. But this is the confrontation, and I just want you to listen to this.
Come down, and gradually there will be more flexibility for doing the things that you're talking about.
Where does it get to? When it comes down, what number do we get our liberties back? Tell me the number. Tell me the number.
When 90% of the members of Congress get vaccinated.
But you're not a doctor, Mr. Clyburn. He is. What is the number?
I can't
Thank
give...
you for recognizing me, Mr. Clyburn. Thank you.
Chair now
for giving me the
recognizes
time.
for 5
I'd
minutes.
like my question
Ms.
answered.
Maloney.
I don't want...
Reclaiming my time.
I want a
Reclaiming my time.
Regular order.
No,
Just a moment.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want you to answer my question. The American people want Dr. Fauci to answer the question. What does it have to be?
Sir. If you need to respect the chair and shut your mouth.
Right, that was it. That was Maxine Waters. When I heard her say that, it was like somebody had hit me. This is in a cradle of democracy, and this woman is acting like a fishwife. And yeah, this is a person who has stood there in a crowd and called the crowd to go and harass other politicians, isn't it? This is a person who seems to have no respect for any sort of democracy. And she's showing her lack of respect here, where she's acting like some gutter wife, somebody she doesn't like on the street. It was very depressing for me to see that. And I wondered, who votes for this woman? Well, obviously, I'm assuming, please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming that she has a very reliable black vote. So I am assuming that she has a lot of black people voting for her, and they don't care that she doesn't know about democracy, that she plays ducks and drakes with procedures, with political procedures, that they couldn't give a stuff about how the country is governed, how decisions are made. They just want her because she's black, and they don't care that she's a rabble rouser. And she knows that too. I believe she's very wealthy off her political work. Now, what really upset me was the way she acted there. But it also was because there was something I remembered, and that was this little clip here. Sorry, I played it too quickly. This is a parliamentary, some sort of a discussion. It's not happening in the House of Commons in the debating chamber. It's obviously a committee of some sort. And Dominic Raab, he's a Secretary of State and a Foreign Secretary. Okay, so he is being questioned by an MP called Claudia Webb. And this is Claudia Webb. Just a minute.
Claudia, you wanted to come in.
Thank you, Chair, and I hope I'm not going to be asking questions that you have already answered, but let me just start with a quick fire one on Belarus, as we've just spoken about that. Why does the government not consider legal action to be necessary in the case of Belarus?
Now, she says Belarus. She means Belarus. It means she doesn't even know what she's talking about. I assume she's been given the question by a colleague, and she's meant to, I don't know, embarrass Raab or whatever. But this isn't coming from her because she obviously doesn't know anything about the situation to the extent that she can't even get the name of the country right. Now, this is a member of parliament, a representative of a constituency. I'll carry on.
In the case of, I didn't catch the name.
Belarus.
So why don't we consider, sorry, what?
Legal action on Belarus.
Why does the government not consider legal action to be necessary in the case of Belarus?
What is the legal action that you're proposing?
Well, I'm asking you the question.
Yeah, I'm trying to clarify.
Does the government consider legal action to be necessary at all?
Sorry, forgive me. What I was trying to clarify is who do you want us to sue and where?
Well, does the government do you agree that the situation in Belarus requires an intervention from the UK?
Now, okay. So, first of all, she asks why the government aren't suing the Russian government over their bad behaviour in Belarus, whatever the bad behaviour was. And when Mr. Raab asked her, when Dominic Raab asked her why, who are we supposed to be suing, she looked like a rabbit trapped in headlights because she had no idea. And that's quite obvious. And then she recovered herself and started saying, well, should there be some action? Well, what action? Are we going to war about that? Obviously not. There might be something we could say to Russia. There might be some sanctions that are possible to be applied. But basically, she doesn't know about any of them. She hasn't given it any thought. She's reading something. Somebody sent her a note, ask him about Belarus, and she didn't do any research on that, and she doesn't know. And she thought this was going to be a gotcha moment. And yeah, she just got herself, didn't she? Well, you see, the thing is that she exposed herself as a very substandard representative of the people. And she is an MP for Leicester. And Leicester East, actually. And there are a lot of black people in Leicester East. And they're obviously voting for her because she is a black woman. A few years ago, I still have some friends, and the husband of this friend of mine is Greek. And this was in North London. There are a lot of Greek Cypriots in that part of London. And he was talking about somebody, and then he remarked to me, I don't know why he didn't vote for X. He's Greek. And I have to say, I was shocked. I said, surely it's not that he's Greek that's important. It's that he's going to be a good MP or a councillor or whatever it was. I could hardly talk to the man after that because I felt so let down by his appreciation of the democratic process. So it's not just a matter of black people. It's any person who comes from, in the case of the UK, from outside the UK, who is from a culture that is a little bit more tribal, let's put it that way. Britain got rid of tribes centuries ago, but a lot of other countries didn't. And we're seeing it here now. We're seeing it with Claudia Webb. We're seeing it with this Greek neighbour of mine. And we see it with fishwives like Maxine Waters. Oh, gosh. And I have to say, if there's anything that's going to destroy democracy, it's these people. It's the people with these attitudes. This is not how any democracy can work properly. And I remember the Webb thing, and I remembered that thing that my Greek neighbour said. But when I saw this with Waters disgracing the dignity of congressional hearing, I felt like I actually did feel like the world had collapsed in a little way. I'll be over it in the morning, I suppose. But right now I'm feeling pretty bad. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.